Welcome back to RABID NOISE. Joining me on the program now is the one and only Jeff Martin from the Tea Party. Thanks for joining us tonight, man.
No, my pleasure. Very good.
Awesome, dude. Well, it's definitely an honour to have you on the show. So you've just released the long-awaited new Tea Party album, The Ocean at the End, which is just an amazing collection of songs. How does it feel to finally have that new album out there in the world now?
Well, I think each of us in the Tea Party would probably have a different thoughts on it, But for me, it's kind of like everything that I've been doing since 2005, since we took our what the party line is now. We didn't break up; it was a hiatus, right? Everything that I've done, since 2005 has basically culminated to this point, and now it's just very clear to me, what my purpose is, once again, and I feel so very blessed, to be able to, be in that band again with those two gentlemen, and for us to still be, we're at the top of our game, and for us to come up with a piece of art like The Ocean at the End is, it's also another blessing, It's just that, because when we got back together in 2011, there was a lot of things that we had to, work through, but hopefully, we were wiser, probably more mature, things like that, and slowly but surely we worked through all of the what at one time would have seemed insurmountable issues between us. Were actually, once we worked through them all, they were quite petty, and and the music was the thing that mattered most, and that's we just kept our eye on the prize, and eventually we got there.
It's awesome, man. As a fan, and knowing like a lot of my friends are fans as well, like when it was announced that you guys were getting it all back together, it was just awesome. But then again, your solo stuff and the other projects you've worked on as well have been great too. But just the combination of you dudes together, it's great to finally have you guys back in there too.
Yeah, no, it's magic, man. It's absolute magic. There's well, for me, anyways, there is not a more powerful, magical feeling that I've ever experienced in my life than being on stage with those two gentlemen, in front of, thousands and thousands of people. Like the energy that is, in existence, at a Tea Party concert it's just really something that I've never experienced with any other band before. So, it's just, it's something very special.
Well, being on the other end of that, as a fan, like when I saw you guys in Brisbane there was a Seven Circles tour at the Convention Centre, I believe it was. Mm-hmm. That was a really special gig. We all walked away going that just the feeling that you get from seeing you guys, because it's you can't really put your finger on it, but you definitely got something magical going on, and it's amazing. So you're playing the Gold Coast too, which is my hometown. So what can we expect from the tour?
Oh, the Gold Coast, yes. We're playing the Coolangatta Hotel, aren't we?
Yeah.
The poor Coolangatta Hotel. I think we might blow it up, but that's fine. Well, certainly with a show like that, that's probably going to be one of the smaller shows that the Tea Party's played in a very long time, because usually it's the Horden Pavilions and the Palais and all that stuff, right? So it's going to be intense. That'll probably be the most intense show of the tour, because of just the proximity between us, that PA, the extra PA that we're going to bring in and all that stuff, and the audience, so.
And Chippy.
And Chippy, yes, my dear Chippy, yes.
Yeah, good old Chippy, yeah. Pushing, he'll make it huge. He always does a good job, old Chip. So
absolutely. It's
going to be, as you said, it's going to be a special show. Being at the Cooley, it's my hometown, and being that it's just going to be that venue, it's just going to be huge. If anyone misses it, they're going to be stupid to miss it. So,
I don't think they will, man, because, it's your job to make sure everyone knows about it, right? Well, part of your job anyways,
Well, that is my job. No, damn right. I'll be getting it out there, that's for sure. But, well, between you guys, when you split and got back together, you kept yourself busy musically with your solo stuff among, other projects, as we were mentioning before. How did you prepare yourself to get back into writing mode for the Tea Party when you met up again? Was it a different sort of...
It was threefold, man. Like, it was a threefold situation where the first thing that's when the band got back together, we needed to discover for ourselves, could we get back on stage and be that band again, and because of course there's trepidation, and there will be some self-doubts and whatnot. It's been a long time, everything, right? So, but I tell you, even from the first rehearsal, from when we got back together, I mean, of course, we hadn't spoken to each other in 7 years, so the personalities in the room, it was a bit icy and all that, right? But I was just kind of like, okay, guys, let's start from the beginning. Let's do the river, okay? And we just launched into it, and it was like the band had never left, and actually the band sounded even more dangerous, just because it was so hungry, like, to get that out again, right? Yeah. And so, and subsequently when we did the Reformation tour here in Australia in 2012, we proved to ourselves and also to, our fans and critics and whatnot that, this is the Tea Party, so this is that band, and so that was a big moment. The second thing would have been that, between the three of us, we had to, I mentioned those what seemed insurmountable differences a long time ago. We had to work through those and find that mutual respect and that brotherly love, that we once had, that made the band so special as well. And slowly but surely we found that, and the laughter started to come again, and the trust and everything, right? And but in order for us to get to the recording process of it all and to feel confident about writing again, I had to prove to myself and also to Jeff and Stuart, that not going into detail about the past, but it's I had to prove to myself and to Jeff and Stuart that I could be the captain of the ship again, because it's really the only way for us to to go into the studio, because I've got to be that producer, and Jeff and Stuart have to be able to put all their trust into me, in the studio situation, and so and that was proven as well, I think the work ethic that the three of us had on recording The Ocean at the end, I don't think the band has been that focused since The Edges of Twilight, and so that's what and that's part and parcel of it all, back in the day, there was the whole rock and roll circus in the studio and the parties and all that stuff and everything. It's just like this time around, we were just like, no. I mean, we had a great time making the record, that's for sure, but but all of the focus was on the music, it wasn't about socializing or anything like that, it was just the music, so.
That's awesome to hear, man. Well, do you find that, when it comes to touring now and being a bit older, do you feel you've mellowed out compared to your younger days as a touring musician? That you don't go as hard? Put
it this way, buddy. Like, listen, I'm a libertine, okay, to a certain extent, right? But it's just these days, it's not a daily occurrence. I pick my battles wisely. And, when I, and rightfully so, I deserve to let myself go sometimes. And when I do, I do it better than most. And, but it doesn't affect, what I do or what I do with the band, so.
That's good, But I mean, you've probably got some wild stories, man, from
that, my friend, is an understatement. So.
Yeah. Are you going to write a book one day?
No, I will not.
What stays on tour? Yeah, what goes on tour
more or less,
stays on tour?
More or less, yes.
Awesome, man. Well, you're one of those guys that, you seem to be able to play any instrument you pick up or or even look at. Has there been one instrument that you just haven't been able to master?
Well, I mean, I haven't given it a try yet, but the beautiful woman in my life has given me an incredible gift. It's an Egyptian harp. It's called a qanun, and I've been wanting one ever since I was in my 20s, you know. And I heard one on a record, and then I saw a picture of it, and it's just like the most exotic looking thing, you know. And lo and behold, like, you know, 4 months ago, 3 months ago, you know, I just out of the blue, you know, she found this instrument for me in Tasmania, of all places, okay, in a pawn shop in Tasmania, right, in Launceston, right, and her and I saw it, like, because I've seen this instrument, I've seen it in this particular pawn shop for the last 3 years that I've been going down to Launceston to play solo shows, right, and every time I'd go into the shop, you know, I'd ask the gentleman, you know, is it for sale? He said, yes. You know, I said, well, how much? And he would, like, he was just a real snippy sort of guy. And he was just like, oh, you can't afford it, right? And I was like, really? You know, but anyways, you know. But my woman being the beautiful woman that she is, and, you know, being very convincing, especially with those eyes, you know, like, so I brought her into that shop, and she saw how much I was, you know, just coveting this instrument. And so the next day, you know, when we flew away, like, back to Sydney or whatever, she ended up calling the guy and just started putting payments down on this thing, right? And then, you know, a few months later, she just like ta-da, you know, I was blown away. So it's one instrument that I have to be able to sit down with it for, like, you know, a solid week, you know, and just dedicate all of my time towards it. And, you know, I don't know when that week is going to come in the next year or year and a half, but it will come, and when it does, I'm really looking forward to creating some magic with that instrument. So
that's awesome. I haven't actually heard of it before, but I'm keen to check it out. I'll probably
it's spelled K-A-N-U-N, qanun. So.
Awesome, man, and that's really cool. She did that too.
Yeah, no, she's pretty wonderful. Yeah.
What a legend.
Yeah, awesome. She's a legend. Yeah.
All right, so what's next for the Tea Party after the tour? You know, you're obviously going to be busy touring with the album, but is it?
Well, it's just, I mean, basically for the Tea Party now is that the time that we were away was also the time where, you know, I mean, it sounds strange to say, but like the legend and the myth grew, okay, and it spread to a lot of places. And so, for instance, now, you know, with the ocean at the ends, you know, the world is calling. Literally, and like, so the next 2.5 years of my life is going to be touring the world with the Tea Party off and on, you know, and so South America, Asia, Europe, you know, Australia, a few times, Canada, you know, some parts of the United States, you know, so it's going to be all over the place, and basically we're going to go where we're wanted, and it seems to be that we're wanted in a lot of places, so here we go.
Awesome, man. Well, I as I said before, I can't wait to see you guys, you know, play again, and you know, hopefully you'll be coming back through after that, because, you know, see it as many times as I can.
I imagine there'll probably be some sort of announcement sooner than later after the tour about the Tea Party and certain festivals, but we'll see.
Awesome, man. Well, I'll definitely be keeping my eye out for that. Well, we're going to go to my favourite track from Ocean at the end, our submission. Thanks so much for hanging with us tonight, Jeff, and we'll see you at the Cooley on October 21st.
Okay, thanks, Nev. Great talk. All right, buddy.